What's good, everyone? I hope you guys are having a great start to your week. I'm excited to be here, excited to be back. You can see the screen is a little bit different than the last couple times. We have a different change. It's top step now, not just the trading view. But if you guys could let me know how the mic is, how the sound is. Let me just check real quick. Trying to figure out if it's too low or needs to be raised a little bit. I don't know. Y'all just let me know throughout the stream if the volume needs to be changed. Just let me know, and we'll get into it. What's good, Corgi? What's happening? How you doing, bro? How was your weekend? So we have a little change. We got Top Step X up here. They call it Project X, whatever that is. So today, obviously we have I'm just kind of looking at price action to kind of see what's happened. Obviously last week on Friday just kind of dumped. Study ICT 2024. Okay, cool. That's a vibe. What did you learn anything from that? Is what gems? And see, I'm trying to stay on his like 2025 stuff. I didn't watch. I haven't finished it yet. So I want to finish his 2025. I feel like his 2026 stuff, I probably should start watching that as well. And then go back to 2025. So stay current on the stuff that he's talking about. I might actually end up doing that today because I've done 2025. I didn't finish it. I just got like 4 or 5 videos in. So I may start watching his 2026 stuff. And then once, there's a break or something, go back to 2025 because I'm sure there's gems that he's left in there and put in there. But today, kind of looking at this, just start on the higher time frame. Let me just hide these for now. I don't like the way that they have it on here because the reset button on TradingView is up here and on Top Step it's down there. I don't know why they would do that, but I don't have control over that. So looking at the daily chart here, I had the volume imbalance there. Interesting how on MNQ on this, we didn't reach that. That's very interesting to me, actually. Very surprising. But anyways, maybe I'm looking at the continuous contract and we reached that. I'm surprised actually that happened. Yeah, I was bearish as well. But we'll see what we're going to end up getting here. Obviously, we're trading up into this volume imbalance. I want to see how much or deep we trade into this wick. We have a premium opening gap opening that we're going to most likely get this morning. It's also like almost 100 and it's above 120 handles. So we're trading up into a premium. We also have news at 10. So I'm more likely to look for the 10 o'clock reversal. But we'll see where we're going to get in the AM session unless we take out significant highs, which I think we've already done. If I look at my other chart, we hit the low from the midnight open range from Friday. That's what we tapped into. If we go on to like a 15-minute chart, let's look at that. I don't like this. So this low, I think it's right here. Hold up. I have it on my other chart. I just need to figure out where it is. This low, I think it's from the, let me just look. From the second. Where's the second low? The second is, sorry, right here. So this low here, this is very interesting. There's a difference in them between the, actually no, I'm right. It's right there. This low right here. Sorry. Where is it? Right here. This specific low right there. So this is the low. That's the midnight opening range low from the second. So we just hit that. I like to look for highs and lows. So premium arrays and discount arrays as we're trading up to them or down to them based on where my bias is and what I'm looking for. So we have this low and then we have the PM session high, which you can only pretty much see on a 15-minute chart, which would be here. So the PM session high from Wednesday, that would be the other significant high or array that we're like right near that I find significant. Now obviously we have this fair value gap here and we have this high here. We hit this pre-market. We're in a deep premium inside of this range. There's also SMT there as well. I don't know if I can go like this. No, I have to go to the thing. I'll just put it on here, doesn't matter. So there's SMT here, between this asset and ES, as you can see here. So here's the same high. You notice how we didn't come up above here. So this showed weakness as this showed strength, and then gave up the ghost on Friday and pretty much ran lower. So that's what we're looking for. Remember, we do have news at 10, so we got to be understanding of that. And hopefully that this zooms in a little bit bigger just so you guys can kind of see what I'm looking at. It did, okay. So that's like my plan and goal for today, is to see if we can trade softer from where we are, especially in this range. So I'm not looking for buys unless there's certain specific things that happen now, in terms of, let's say, like we trade down to 50% of the gap, 25% of the gap, and then show some type of how do I pop up another asset? Oh, like this? You're talking about like this at the bottom? Corgi, is that what you're talking about? When you're saying how you'll pop up another asset? If you're talking about this, okay, cool. So you hit this plus. I don't know if you can see where my mouse is, where it says symbol search, and you see this plus. It'll say compare, and then you add what you want to compare. And when you put it at the bottom, you can do this on TradingView as well to do the same thing. It'll be at the bottom. It'll first start off as a line chart, and then you have to switch it to you have to put new pane. Sorry, let me just do it so you can see it actually. Instead of trying to explain it, let me just do it. So you click up here, this plus button in the top left. You look for what you want, and you hit new pane. So once you hit new pane, it'll be a line chart. Then you have to click on it, or you can click over here with the gears, and then you have to put it to candles, and then it'll be a candlestick. So that's how I do that. And then in order to see it consistently, you just double tap, you just click twice, and it'll go up and go down. That's how you do that. So we have this low here. We hit, yeah, no problem, Corgi Trader. So we've hit a significant level from the midnight opening range. So actually, the midnight opening range has probably been one of my favorite tools to use inside of my trading. It helps me kind of align PD arrays and stuff that I'm looking for, how high it could go. And we have this gap that overlays with this specific midnight, like, what do I call it? Midnight opening. So low of MOR, and this would be from Friday. So we'll put this to the right and put this at the bottom. And we've already hit the 6 standard deviation of the midnight opening range from today. But this is the key level that was there, in my opinion. So that's what I'm looking and watching and managing. Remember, we also have the new week opening gap down here. So I'm going to highlight that as well. What is happening right now? Why is it doing that? Sorry, hold up. I'm not really sure why I did that. Hopefully nothing really changed for you guys. So we have the midnight opening gap. Opens there. And then this is closed down there. And then you have the middle. So these are some levels that I'm looking at and what I'd want to see us draw down into, if that's possible. Those are some levels. I can't really tell what that is. 412.25. Is the volume good? Oh, Corgi Trader. Just want to make sure everything is good. You guys can hear me. I think so. If it's too low, then I can kind of turn it up. It's good. Okay, cool. Because I don't want to sound like because I'm not whispering, but I don't want it to sound like I'm whispering. We'll just do this. So this is kind of what I'm looking at. We have this clean level here. I think we just kind of ran up into a premium. So I'm going to be waiting and watching to see kind of what we're getting there. The goal today is to execute on what we see and allow the price to do whatever it's going to do and not try to be trying to guess so much. Just let it play itself out, and then if it arrives, then we're going to take a stab. If not, then we're not going to do anything. We're just going to kind of sit here. So I do kind of want to watch this. I'm also trying to do less, and what I mean by do less is have less up on my screen and looking at a lot less, because then you have to make a little bit more decisions. And I don't want to be out here trying to make 50 million decisions. I know like what I'm looking for. And so for me, that's what matters the most, is if I can see that, execute on it, and then wait for it to do what it's going to do anyways, right? So we had this gap. I had outlined it. Again, I don't want to put way too much on my chart, but this is like what I'm looking at. This gap here with these highs here, if it wants to draw up there, that's kind of where I could see it going up. What's good, Tony? What's good, Tony? How you doing, bro? How was your weekend? How was your day today? I know it's a little bit later over there. I'm not sure what time it is, like 2 p.m. or something. Maybe it's 2 o'clock. But that's kind of what we're looking for. Premium gap opening. This is the PM session high from Wednesday. Just want to note that. From Wednesday. So hopefully we don't have any issues with Top Step when they with their platform. Hopefully we don't have any issues, because if we start having issues, then that's not going to be fun, but it is what it is. But yeah, so that's where we're looking. The highest I could probably see it going, if we do get some rollover from here, would be 25,647 and 3/4. That's where I could see it going. And the high end, 25,659 and 1/4. Those levels up there, but I'd like to see if we can, reject here, because we have a premium opening gap range. I'm not looking to buy at all, unless I kind of talked about the specific criteria I would want to see. But until then, like, there's really nothing. So now that we have that out the way, we're gonna go to a little bit smaller. Let's go to like a 5-minute time frame just for now, because there's nothing be really off work. I'll still at work, unfortunately. I feel you. The PM session. So you get. So the last hour macro is like your sweet spot. I'm definitely down to learn more about it. If you have any like tips or things that you do in terms of the PM session or like the last hour macro, I haven't really studied it that much. I know that it's there. I just really haven't looked at it too crazy. So yeah, I'm definitely down and still open to just learn more about it, because I know I'll eventually do like some PM streams and stuff like that, but I just don't I don't necessarily look at it that much. I'm not there. But yeah, so this is kind of what we're looking for. Again, we have that breaker here. It would be on this on NQ. The breaker would be there. Looks like we fell just short of the low, but again, we have a premium gap opening. We also hit that level too. 25,636 and a half. That's the range from the midnight opening range from today. That's the first level that's above this PM session high. So if anything, I'm looking for shorts and see if we can take it a little bit lower. Maybe we draw back down into this new week opening gap high. So that's what we're looking for. These are the key levels that I see, and I'm going to leave it as this. I'm not going to try to add too much. Obviously, if I'm getting into a fair value gap or waiting for that, I will outline that. But outside of that, there's no, I don't want to have too much, because then I start getting really confused. And so if I'm getting confused because there's too much, I'm sure you're getting confused because there's too much. Okay, so let's try to make this a little bit bigger so we can clearly see what's there. I have that there. Okay, cool. I just want to check the range of the opening range. So it's going to be roughly yeah, 229 handles. Like I'm not about that life. We ain't about to buy. That ain't happening. Yeah, 3:45, 4 p.m. Oh, you like that one? Okay. Yeah, I've looked at the 3:15. So the 3:15 to 3:45, that one. That one seems to be pretty nice. I've seen some stuff there, but yeah, 3:45, 4 p.m. You find a like nice little range there. Cooking. Really, really cooking. I think I need to add the midline into this. Let's add that in there. So we've definitely hit the breaker on the higher time frame on the 15-minute chart. We've hit that. We have this wick as well. We have this gap here. That would be IFVG. So we have a lot of premium raise here. So if we're able to just run right through this, there's a little bit more significance here, in my opinion. But we're going to go down to a 1-minute chart and see what we're going to get here. Again, not looking to buy at all. Like, at all. The low consequent encroachment on is pretty much at this low. So pretty much right at this low is consequent encroachment of the gap. So this is going to be sell side that we could look to target initially. That's what I'm. What is it? Is it in? Oh, it's in white. Oops. Let's change that. Okay. So that's the low initially. There's some sell side there. I hate how it does that. Hold up, sorry. And so remember we have news at 10, right? So not in a rush. I want to see a trade lower. That's what I'm looking for personally. I want to see a trade lower. I'm not looking to buy anything. So this was a level that we would have expected for a price to trade up to. We hit the high end. Like I said, I think I could see it go to 25,659 in a quarter. A quarter. So now we're waiting to see if we can trade lower. That's what I personally want to see. And if we can create some type of movement, some fair value gap going lower, and we can create a first presented fair value gap, something like that, I'm looking to see that. That's what I want to see. And this would be a significant low that we're looking for when we have news. So depending on how it looks and what it looks like and what it's giving, that's essentially what I have for today in the understanding. I want to see us trade lower, trade softer. And if we can do that without obviously doing it all right now, that'd be great. So I just need to make sure and see if we hit the okay, so 25%. We're a little bit away from that right now. I want to see us melt, essentially. So if we can melt, I will take one, but I need to see a fair value gap form before that happens. And hopefully we don't just do it all do it all right now. If we do, then that's just what happens with this trade. And we'll just be a little bit more patient, have to wait to see what's going to happen after that. Let me just check what we got here. So again, I want to see us create a fair value gap and then trade up into this. That would be my setup. But that needs to occur and happen first. We hit the low end of that. So there's no fair value gap. So there's nothing there for me to do right now. So nothing was created. So I'm being patient and waiting now. I would have much rather like to see it. Maybe it needs to run up one more time. And if this ends up just trading higher and higher and higher and higher, there's really nothing there for me today, especially with a 229 range gap. Like, I'm not touching that. That's not happening. It looks like it just did immediate rebalance. So like on a lower time frame chart, you probably see, we can go check it out. Yeah, so on the 30-second chart, there's a fair value gap there. So with immediate rebalance, so something that like I have noticed and seen, when you see immediate rebalance on a higher time frame, all it's doing is trading up into a lower time frame fair value gap. That's all it's doing. But for me, I don't trade on the 30-second chart, so I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, this is a 30-second thing. But that's what I've noticed. When you see that, it's a fair value gap on a lower time frame. And so now I'm looking to see, does this wick offer resistance right now? And can we trade softer down here? So usually if you're like, oh, I want to see immediate rebalance, and so you see this large wick down and it starts to come up, if you go to a lower time frame, look for a fair value gap. It's most likely that's what it's trading into. So we need to create a fair value gap so I can take a trade. I'm just kidding. But if it offers that, then that's what I'm looking for. But it needs to show that. But I'm looking for sell side right now. Looking for sell side. So we've already hit the upper 25% of the of the opening range gap. So we just hit that now. So remember, if it's a large gap, we're looking for that minimum. I'm thinking that we can draw back down to this low right here that you see, this low that I have outlined, just because of how large the gap is, but also that we have the new week opening gap right down here. So if we can create a fair value gap there, I would try to take it down to here and then take partials obviously along the way, but that has to form before I can take anything. Because as of right now, right, there's no first presented fair value gap yet on the 1 minute chart. Even on the 30-second chart, like we just looked at, there isn't one yet either. So if we can create one here with this breaker, I would love that before taking that out. Then I'll take one, put my stop loss right there, and then look to take it down. If that's the case. There was one time I was trading funded accounts. This was a long time ago. Let me make sure. This was like what is it called? When FTMO, you could trade FTMO. I literally one time was buying. I meant to sell and I bought on accident. It was pretty bad, and so I was losing money and I didn't understand. To no fair value gap form. I was losing money in the trade. And I had no idea why I was losing money. I'm like, it's going down. Why am I? Sorry, it was right. It was I meant to buy and I sold. And so obviously, you know what happened with that. I was watching the price go up and I'm losing money. I'm like, why is it? What's happening right now? It was awful. So, you know, I have to make sure that you're clicking the right button. You know, when I did that. But again, nothing here. I don't like how we haven't officially formed a first presented fair value gap yet. Now, you can sit here and sell into all this and do the wick and say it touched the top of this and do I'm specifically looking for a fair value gap. Like, that's what I want. So I'm not willing to take this, even though it came to hasn't technically come to a discount yet, but this is a higher time frame array. So we have a nice initial reaction from there. I'm specifically from my model looking for a fair value gap. Like, it doesn't matter to me if it's an inverse fair value gap. It doesn't matter to me if it's a, normal fair value gap. That's just what I'm constantly looking for in my trades and what I want to see. So until I see that, there's really nothing here for me. Nothing here. I'm also watching ES. Maybe we get some type of SMT where ES may want to trade up a little bit higher, where NQ is not able to. Maybe something like that. But yeah, I'm looking down here, sell side for sure. But I need to be able to frame it correctly and not rush into anything. We do have news at 10, so be patient for that as well, but would love to see the 10 o'clock news event propel that. but we'll see what we're getting because there's no first presented fair value gap right now, which I heavily don't like. So yeah, it looks like we're probably gonna get that before the 10 o'clock news event, or it may hold, trade up a little bit higher, and then slam lower. But that's all we can do right now is watch. I'm thinking about playing some like jazz music like in the background, just some chill vibes. Can't be listening to rap and all that stuff because it's just not it. Like that's not calming at all, actually. I don't know how people listen to that and just be calm. Like, I think there's a time and a place for everything, and I think trading, that just ain't it. Be getting your blood pressure up, just everything be rising for no reason. You don't gotta be like that. I can't wait to get the Stream Deck too. I'm telling y'all will be geeking. Wait till I get that Stream Deck. I'm gonna be laughing. It's gonna be a fun time here. Fun time. But again, patience. Like, there's nothing to do here right now. Nothing to do here. Nothing to do. Nothing to do. Nothing to see. Unfortunately, it's not forming. I mean, there's a volume imbalance here, but I'm not looking to trade off the volume imbalance. But there's a volume balance there, which hit multiple times. The buy's respected it. I mean, this is where it's going, for sure, down here. But am I able to frame a setup right now? No, there's no gap. There's no fair value gap. I don't want to get into this right now. But yeah, Tony, I have to check more out the last hour macro, because that could be a nice time to just like chill. A nice chill. So I like if we can create a fair value gap, especially with this before hitting this. I really love that. I really love that. But we have to form a gap without hitting this. I don't want to see us hit that yet. And then I'll look to see if we can expand lower down there. But we have to form a gap, which we're not doing. See? We're overlapping price action every single time. No gaps getting created. So, yeah. That's my target down here, obviously where the X is. I wasn't looking for buys at all. So I'm wondering right now, just looking at the way price action is what it's doing. I'm wondering if we're waiting for the 10 o'clock news event. Because this is it's too much overlapping price action for me. That's going to bother me. It's not the same. There we go. All I need to do is create a fair value gap. And I'm thinking that we're drawing down, not only just to here, but also draw down to this. We have all this liquidity down here. I think that we'll see that. But again, I don't want to get lost. So I just want to go to a higher time frame just to make sure I'm seeing things clearly. We hit up into this upper range. We hit higher time frame key levels. So I'm thinking again that that's most likely what we're looking for. This liquidity down here, which should be the London low. You can note that. Usually I have that in blue. We'll just put it in blue. So the London low. Let's put that over to the right. Let's go down to the 1 minute chart. So London low right above the new week opening gap, the current new week opening gap. Again, we traded back up into this. So I think this is it now, trading up into a premium level. So we now finally have traded back up into the premium range. We have this wick. We have the low end. We have the low of the midnight opening range gap there as well. So I think that's what this push up is. It's just that for me, there's no gap. There's no gap. So if there was a fair value gap, again, technically this wick is a gap, but I want to see a physical fair value gap. Then to me, this is more valuable to take and then look for this down here. That's what I'm looking at right now. But I'm also watching how how ES is failing to show like it wants to go lower. It's consolidating right above this high. So do we want to see it run up one more time? Is that what's going to happen? I'm just watching and observing what's happening in price. The first observation I've made, because I think that what I'm trying to do in my trading and become better is to become an observer, right? The first thing that I observed pretty instantly is that we have yet to make a fair value gap on the 1 minute chart. That to me is a little bit of concern of why haven't we made that to the upside or the downside. There's literally no fair value gap. So now we have SMT here. ES took out its high. Does NQ have the same ability to take out its high? That's what I'm watching right now. Does it have its same ability to take out the high? Do we close strongly above the high? Like, those are things that I'm watching. And so actually, like, this down here, like where this forms and stuff, is at the consequent encroachment of the opening range gap from the 2nd of January. So we have this here. So now if this can hold, this will be the first presented fair value gap that forms at 9:45. That's pretty late. Pretty late. Pretty late. So now we hit the upper portion of the opening range gap from, I think it's, is that from today? That's not from today. From the 2nd as well. So we hit the upper portion of the one from the 2nd. And again, I'm looking for sell side to get taken out. I'm not looking for buy side at all. I don't want to see buy side. I'm not interested in buy side. I want to see us create a fair value gap finally and see if we can take out this and then down here. Again, no gap. Observation. 0 gaps. And I'm trying to do a better job. So we're kind of banging around inside the volume imbalance on the daily chart right now. That's kind of what we're inside of. We're in the new week opening gap from, I think, 3 weeks ago. Yeah, 3 weeks ago. We're in that new week opening gap now. And we kind of had a little bit of failure there. I like this. And so if we can create a fair value gap, I'll be willing to take that ahead of the news and think the news will drive us lower if it doesn't do it already. But I need to see a gap for sure. And I want to see a convincing fair value gap, not just something that just looks like it, not something very, very small. So again, just patience, no rush. We don't need to be a rush. Everyone's in a rush to take a trade today. Everyone's in a rush to try to get in. You don't think that that's factored into this, the why it looks the way it does? It's definitely factored in. So just be patient. So we create a gap. I just hope that we don't come here and just melt the whole way down. But if we do, then we do. Can't do nothing about it. Before, these used to be the days that I would be itching to get in. This might be the first fair value gap. 948. And hopefully we can do that. You're in gold buys. So if we can do this and trade up into here, yeah, I'll take 4. I'll sell 4. You have about 30 seconds left, but a gap needs to be created. Like it just fair value gap needs to be created. It can't overlap price again. That's what I'm waiting for. So nothing there for me. Nothing. What's good, teacher? What's up, brother? Yeah, we're just waiting, man. Like there's really nothing to do. Let me just check gold, since this is kind of doing a little bit of other stuff. Let's check gold. Gold buys, okay. Let's just look. It's nice. Fair value gap. Let's go to the 5-minute chart. Oh, nice breaker. Did you buy down here actually? At the open? It's a nice breaker up to that high. Pretty low hanging fruit right there. Let's go back to yes sir, you bought that. That's nice, bro. That's really nice. So we have a 5-minute gap. Okay, so I didn't see this. So now we have a 5-minute gap here. That's perfect actually. Okay, so now let's see some movement away. I didn't realize we had a 5-minute fair value gap that formed, but I want to see a 1-minute gap. So 5-minute fair value gap formed up there on the 5-minute chart. I'm glad I looked. See that there? So if we can get a 1-minute gap here, I'll take that. That's a nice breaker buy, teacher. I saw that immediately. As soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, you must have bought right there. Had to buy right there. That was a good play. Very, very good play. What I'm thinking is most likely going to happen, just the way I'm looking at this right now, is it's most likely going to be, because I'm watching ES as well. Right, so I'm watching ES. ES is about to form a fair value gap on the 1-minute chart. What I'm thinking is this is going to be more of a, I don't even know what to call it, because I've seen it a couple times. It's entering like, we have 9 minutes into the news event, so I'm most likely not going to enter in right before, unless it creates a gap or something that's very large and obvious. But something that I have noticed sometimes where Nasdaq or other things, it won't trade up into its gap, but on ES or something else, it'll trade up into a gap that has been created. But yeah, those are nice buys, man, on the breaker. I like that. Nice buy setup on the breaker. So again, we're trading. This is during the macro time. 950 to 1010. Let's just note that out. 950 to 1010. This time. Let's call it macro. You guys can't even see that because I can't. There we go. Macro. So the first gap would be created at 952. That is so deep. So deep. And that's if that even is gets created. I'm thinking it's going to be an IFVG. That's what I'm expecting it to be, an IFVG. If it can create a fair value gap, if anything, it's going to be IFVG. Yeah, when I passed these accounts, I was trading gold. I didn't trade Nasdaq. I was like, Nasdaq is just something's going on with it. I don't know. So I'm thinking it's gonna be IFVG. This is the first presented fair value gap. I think it's IFVG. line should be white. So IFVG is here, and that's what I'm watching right now. That's how I'm labeling this, because I'm thinking the draw is down here. I don't think it's higher. But need to watch it. Need to watch how it reacts and what it's doing there. I don't see that as a buy. Can y'all see that color? No, that sounds horrible. Hold up. I don't think that's even better. I think it's worse, actually. Yeah, that made it worse. This doesn't do it like it does on. How do I? Is that just on my screen it looks bad, or your screen it looks bad? Like, can y'all see it being black, or am I just tripping? Y'all can see that clearly. I'm watching that we're also trading into the new week opening gap from 3 weeks ago. Like, we're trading at the consequent encroachment. It overlaps with a lot of these things. So that's why I'm looking at this as the IFVG. Now we have 5 minutes until the news comes out and drops. But, you know, I'm, again, looking for lower prices. I'm not looking to buy today. Like, no shot. Nyama chance I'm buying. So I want to see this create an IFVG. And then if we can trade, I need to delete this. That's not important at this point. I want to see if we can trade back up into this. This is also the first presented fair value gap as well, because that's the first one that forms. So if you ever see that, like FP, FVG, that's what that means for me. So if you're watching. So I want to see us completely roll over this. I don't want to see it hold, show any real support. If it can, like, close below it, I have no problem stepping in front of ISM numbers, because I don't think that they're not that crazy to me. But I'll probably use 3. And if we could trade up into it, I'm expecting the numbers to push us lower. That's what I'm expecting. But I want to see us close below it. Might have already got it. That's not what I wanted to do. I'm going to sell it if it trades up into it. I wanted to see it trade up into it. Didn't give it to us. Or if it did, it slightly did. Like, I didn't even get a chance. Didn't even get the chance to do it. Okay, I'm going to sell one. Or oops.
Order filled.
So I'm going to sell it. Oh my goodness, man. I'm okay with stepping in ahead of this. Wait, why does this do this? I'm not a fan of that, by the way. We're going to have it take out those lows. That's where my target is right now. So above these highs, I'm okay with putting it above there. I don't like how it does that. I need to figure out, does anyone know how to turn that off, by the way? If anyone knows how to turn that off, I would definitely appreciate that. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for down here. I'm going to take one off here if I can. Reach down there. Going to buy one. No, not market buy. Buy stop. Market. See, this is why I don't like trading on here. I got to get used to doing this. So I need to limit buy one there, right? Because I'm selling, yes. Okay. So that's what I'm looking for. This is what I'm expecting. We have the IFVG. We have there. We had a premium opening gap range. It's now 10 o'clock or 9:59 or whatever. This is the gap. This is the IFEG I was looking at and wanted to see price hold. I believe that we are up in a premium. We're looking for this down here to get taken out. And that's what I'm kind of holding on to, what I'm looking for, to see us react and resist price and to trade lower. We traded back up into the gap. That's a nice reaction. And then the most clear, or in my opinion, obvious sell side is that low that's right there, right above it. We had a premium gap opening range. So I'm looking for sales to take down that obvious low that's sitting there. That's what I look for. So let's see what we end up getting here. So 10 o'clock, that's a news event. It just went. See if we can get some reaction. Might have been a little bit too tight on the stop loss, but you know, we'll manage. If we have to take another trade or reassess things, we'll do that when that occurs. And now we just watch. Just watch. So the IFEG there, that's what I was taking my basis off of, or my trade off of. We have this IFEG that I was wanting to see price respect. And the bodies, I'm watching the bodies, so we close inside. I like that. I'm a very big fan of that. And I would just watch and see it. I think we're gonna want to trade lower and expand lower. I'm watching the other chart as well because I want to see like what we're trading into, and I like that. This is obviously be a nice spot to take off. I hate that. Sorry that it does that. Once I figure out how to do this, I will make sure that that doesn't keep happening every time. I don't necessarily like that. But I'm just watching the bodies. Are we able to stay inside? Okay, so that necessarily is not a good sign for this trade because of how we close inside, but then went up bullishly. So again, we closed through it. That I'm not a fan of. Don't like that. But so yeah, probably gonna get stopped out here. I don't like the way that this is acting right now. But I keep everything the way that it is. And if we need to reassess, I'll do that, but not too there's nothing else to do. Like, I'm in the trade and all I can do is watch, right? There's nothing else I can do here. I'm not moving my stop. I'm not afraid to take a loss. I'm not doing all that stuff. It's just, that's part of trading, and it is what it is. What happens, happens. I was looking for sell side. The gap got ran through. It's fine. I believe I put my stop in a place where if it goes up there and tags it, it just does. And we can reassess that later if I need to take another trade to the downside or something. But I'm not looking for buys. Not from where we are. So just patiently wait. We're back inside that 5-minute gap again. I think I probably should have had my stop a little bit higher and more into a premium, and I'm only saying that because the 5-minute gap, it's like right at that.
Order filled.
Okay, so I took a loss today. So I'm gonna step back and just kind of watch. Take that out and see what happens here. I need to learn how to take that off, by the way. Hold up. Because it used to not do that. I don't know why it's doing that. But we'll just go back here. So I took one loss today. We're going to figure out and see. I think I took 4. So I'll take 2 on the next one if I can find a way to get in on this. Because I'm not looking for buys at all. Not at all. Yeah, gold's... Let me look at gold. I'm not gonna take it on gold, but let me look. Yeah, gold's moving nice for sure. Might have to switch back to that. I'll have to go back because that's what I used to pass this whole thing was gold. I didn't use Nasdaq. We'll just watch it. I'm not interested in buys at all today. Not at all. And if it continues to buy and goes higher, then that's just I guess what happens. I don't want to do it. Potentially looking for a second trade, but it needs to. I'm not just buying this just to buy this. It would need to show it again, or show something to the downside that would get me into the trade. But there's nothing. There's nothing for me to do right now. I'm not interested in any buys for this, so I have to wait. Like not a single buy do I want to take right now. So when we first had the night when the bodies closed inside, but then came back up here, that was concerning, right? That was what was something that was very, very concerning for me. And again, ISM numbers are not that crazy and huge to me that I need to wait till after. So that's why I was okay with taking it ahead of time. But we just have to wait and see. But yeah, buys for me off the table. So if it continues to buy, there's nothing for me to do. I don't want to do that. I'm just watching. Again, we create another gap to the downside and we can trade up into that. Then that will be my second short and probably like the last trade of the day. But that's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for any buys. It just might have went a little bit higher than what I would have expected and obviously would have wanted. But what am I going to do about it? Visually looking at today, this doesn't. It looks pretty bad. Just a visual. I need to figure out how to turn that off though. I don't like the confirmation thing that it does. Oh, there we go. Maybe that. Quit order settings chart. Maybe that. I don't know. Maybe that's fixed it. Maybe that has fixed it. But yeah, for me, currently have SMT here as well. SMT the upside with ES. But yeah, I'm not interested in buying too large of a gap, and I'm okay with waiting till tomorrow. I'm okay with that. We've driven higher one, two, three times higher. Another one. And again, this can go up higher and I could just be completely wrong, and that's also fine as well. Yeah, gold 935. Yeah, nice one. So I mean, this is looking like it kind of wants to reach up there and grab that high. That's what it's looking like. For me, I was not interested in buys because of how large the gap was. I don't want to buy into that. And this right now, this doesn't look appealing at all, even for buys, in my opinion. On the 15-minute chart, it may looks a little bit better. The bodies. If we look at ES, was unable to even trade down into its gap, but again, still, there's no buy I would have actually wanted to take here, based off my rules and stuff. There was nothing there for me. So right now we have SMT, and this I need to see displacement at this point. Like now, it has to be more demanding. I have to be more demanding on what's happening in the charts. Realistically, what I'd want to see is a fair value gap get created below this low, specifically this one. So if we can create a fair value gap and then trade up into that, I like that. I like that. But that needs to occur because we still have SMT there, and need to see like real market displacement lower. But if not, what time is it? It's like what, 10 or 10:11, almost 10:12. I don't like that we close above this gap though. On a 5-minute chart, I don't like that we close above this gap. Personally. That's what gave me the confidence to take, okay, we inverse this gap. That's why I took it there. 5-minute chart. Inverse the gap. But the way that we're kind of sitting here, it makes me think that it wants to potentially take this out. But again, if we can create a fair value gap below this specific low, and it's convincing, not a little small one, I'll take a short down to here and there. I'll attempt to do it again. I could have just been a little bit earlier or a little bit early, but that's hopefully this doesn't do the whole confirmation thing again, because that was kind of annoying. I think they just fluffed it up, but again, I could be wrong. Could be wrong. Oh, but now just so you guys know, in terms of like the amount of like that I'm risking, I'm willing myself only to lose in one day $450. Like that's it. I will not lose more than that. Like I'm not willing to risk or put on any day more than that. It doesn't make any sense to me personally. When we're back inside the 15-minute fair value gap, that's what this light gray shaded box is. That's what that box is. I don't like how we close above the 5 minute gap though. Yeah, right now it's just patience. There's literally nothing else that I can do at this point. Like I'm not trying to sit here and sell the high and figure all that stuff out. It just needs to show itself. Once it shows itself, then I'm more willing or more confident to take something. But until then, there's really nothing for me to do. Like this one day is not going to change anything. Let's see what we're getting here. So still didn't take out the high. Still have SMT there. Now what I want to see is like, do we have the ability to reject like instantly? That's what I want to see us do. We fail to hit the high. Can we reject instantly? Can we create gaps trading lower? Is that possible? I have no interest in buying right today, and that's just kind of where I'm standing. I'm okay with standing on that right now. Standing on business. So right now it looks like that. The informed majority. Yeah, I'm just not interested in this right now. Just because this for me, I didn't want to buy today. There was no way I was buying today. So I'll stand on, my decisions. But yeah, so the first presented fair value gap formed at 952. Let's leave that there. Usually I have that in like a green color or a yellow. Sorry. Usually that's in a yellowish color. What just happened? Oh, I did that. So we're going to keep this here for now. We'll just enlarge this a little bit. This is usually like yellow. No text or midline. Usually it's yellow. So, yeah, I would take this straight 100 times out of 100 times. 1,000 times out of 1,000 times. I'd still take it. But yeah, really nothing here right now. Not even really a buy setup in my opinion either. Unless you're trading up the 15-minute chart and you trusted that, there was really no buy setup here. Or at least for me. Maybe other people found buys. I don't know. But not for me. Yeah, it looks like it wants to go up there and attack that. Yeah, no, there's no real buys on NQ either. It's just consolidating inside this 15-minute fair value gap right now. So we'll see if I have to make the switch back over to gold because that's what I was trading before. I can do that, but we'll see. I'm not gonna switch up because of one day. Why did I decide to switch to NQ? And I think it started like when I started to look back at it, because I passed this in like August or something. something like that. And when I started to look back at NQ, it started to open up a little bit more. So that's why I was like, oh, okay, I'll go back to NQ. Like, I'll decide to trade that. That was the only reason why I went back to NQ. But majority of the time when I was trading this, I was trading on gold because it was just cleaner. So because it was cleaner, that was like the only reason why I came back. Now, like obviously it wasn't. This is what it was doing when I was trading gold. And so I was trading gold. And I was like, dang, I'm so glad I'm trading gold and not this. So right now we hit the rejection block. Again, we may come up here and hit this. Necessarily wouldn't want to see it, but this is looking kind of. I wouldn't say it's heavy. That's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't look heavy. And so we're going up here. Again, that would be going in sync. So there'd be no SMT there. Really no SMT down here either. It's just one of those days. Like I'm not getting caught up over this. No shot. So hit the rejection block. What do we show here? Any type of displacement? No. No real displacement on either side. So it could be like a PM session day, but I'm not gonna trade the PM session. I'll just trade tomorrow. I didn't have to make the money back today. I don't have to do any of that. If it gives a setup, then I'll take it. But if it doesn't, then there's nothing. So we hit the rejection block. Does that hold us? Do we have price trading lower? Let's just look at this for a second. Also, why I was willing, sorry, to take it, I forgot, since I don't have it connected, you can't see. Since I was willing to take it down here and try to tap this low and then London low, was because we're at the lower end of a new week opening gap from 3 weeks ago that overlaps with this first presented. So there was a lot of stuff there. We had tapped up in here, so that's why I was willing to take that. But yeah, as of right now, we've closed right through that new week opening gap high, or new week opening gap from 3 weeks ago. I'm thinking they're probably going to most likely come up here because of how much time they're spending up here. It makes me think that they want to try to attack that, but again, I'm not looking for buys. Like, I'll give it to like the 1050, 1110 macro. If nothing happens then I'm probably just going to chill out. But yeah, I'm not looking for anything upside right now. Nothing. So we hit the rejection block. Can we continue to show displacement? That's what I want to see us start to do. And just like start to show that price wants to go lower, not like slowly like dilly-dallying like it's been doing. Like the way that it's been going up higher to me is just like, you can tell it's high resistance, right? I can tell that just by the way that this looks visually. It's high resistance. Yeah, probably the latest I'm gonna stay because this is really not, let's see, I gotta make sure this is on the right time. There you go. So around here, so obviously like for me looking at this and when am I expecting a reversal zone? Now granted, it has hit the upper, like we'll say 75% of the opening range gap, which is what we want to see. I was looking to see if we could get down to 50% of the gap, just because we have this low, we have the new week opening gap down there as well with a large range. So that's what I was visually looking for. But trading down here and up into that didn't give it to us. It traded up a little bit higher. Maybe it wants to spend a little bit more time up here, but I still think it probably wants to attack this just from how much time it's spending here. It's spending way too much time here, in my opinion, for it to not want to try to get this. And our I don't have it on here. Our reversal zone for me, and the way ICT teaches it, is between 10 and 11. So this time, yes, we had news at 10. I was okay with stepping it in front of it because it was ISM numbers. It's not like NFP or CPI. It's none of those numbers. So that's fine for me personally. But this is when you're like looking for a reversal, is during this time. But if you see, like, even if we're buying, like, this is a very, very, like, I don't even see where you buy, actually. Like, I don't see where that's plausible. So we'll wait and just watch. That doesn't look like a top either, but we'll see what we end up getting here. So this is a nice, so that's starting to displace a little bit. I like that. Can we hold that though? Can we hold that displacement? Not just keep slowly grinding higher or slowly grinding lower. Like, we didn't close below this low yet. So we keep like almost doing stop runs and pulling back up. So I think that this is potentially in play right now. I'm so glad I unmuted it because I had to go get something and I thought I was muted the whole time. That would have been funny. Yeah, 11:10. That macro is probably gonna be the time where we'll step out if it doesn't do anything before then. I'm not trading the lunch macro necessarily into it. This right here could be a play on this low specifically. If we can create a gap below that and like show displacement, like it needs to show displacement, not just this, like real displacement. You want to go lower. That's what would have to happen. That's a criteria for this. But again, I think it probably wants to tap this. Because the way that this looks, that doesn't look like a high to me. Like, I'd rather see if it's gonna come up here, tap this, reject, not touch this, and see if we can start trading softer down to these lows, and ultimately targeting there. Which we may or may not get. Either or is fine. In terms of upside objectives, the only thing that would make sense would have to be, so we took that out. Only thing that would make sense would have to be Friday's high. That's the next key array, at least high or low for me that I see. Would have to be Friday's high. I was just watching. How's gold doing? Consolidating a little bit. 15-minute chart at 9:30, so that's nice. Again, we saw the breaker as well. Yeah, take out that. Yeah, there to there. It's a nice trade. Nice trade. Let's go back to NQ. Yeah, 2-minute chart there. Yeah, so there's no SMT to the upside right now. Obviously, it took out that high, so now, I mean, that's non-existent. Yeah, I'll wait till, or see if we get anything, but also I'll wait till the 11:10 macro. If nothing happens, then chill, and I'll be here again tomorrow. Same time. Same time, same time. Okay, I was trying to figure out where my phone was. Make sure everything's straight. But yeah, again, that's like one of the biggest things for me that's helped me in my trading is not to rush to get in, not to try to make the money back real quick, because this would be a mess of a day right now, a mess of a day. Trying to force anything in this right now is just not high probability in my opinion. Again, the closing above this gap is what I did not like. But then even with that closing above the gap, you have no gap on a 5-minute chart. No gap on a 3-minute chart. Should have a 4-minute chart up here too. I don't have one. Wait, why can you not get a 4-minute chart? Well, that's wild. Doesn't matter. Anyways, you can't get a there's no gaps on that to the upside. And usually when you see a immediate rebalance, like even see a immediate rebalance here, you usually see a fair value gap. You don't even see one. On the lower time frame, if you have immediate rebalance, there's usually a fair value gap. Because if you go here, like watch, if you go look at this immediate rebalance here, if you go to a 30-second chart, you'll see one there. This is the immediate rebalance. Here's a fair value gap right there. No, I don't trade the 30-second chart, but even if I did trade the 30-second chart, I would have been looking for this low, so I would have got stopped out anyways. I was specifically looking for that low. Yeah, it looks like it wants to just trade up higher. That's fine. I won't take part of that. For me, what I find interesting is that it's above the high, but it's not, or it hasn't until yet expanded. So it's just sitting there. Hasn't really shown like true displacement. Not yet. Yep, nothing here. But we got like 30, 40 minutes or so, and we'll see what this ends up offering. If it can start to break down, or if it just continues to trade higher, then that's what it does. Yep. So like for me, just on this time frame, we're closing above, but there's no displacement. I don't like how it doesn't tell how much time is left. What is this? So we got about like 2 minutes left or so for this. Yeah. Like there would be nothing for me to frame to the upside on neither of them. Is what it is. How's gold doing? Is gold moving? Gold's starting to trade softer as well. Okay. Yeah, let's see what we get at the macro. If the macro doesn't do anything, then yeah, it's just call it for what it is and then move tomorrow. Yeah, still in the window or time frame where we could potentially see a 5-minute chart. Potentially see a reversal. But it's just very balanced here, very, very balanced. Let's just do this, make this a little bit bigger. There we go. So above the high, the one thing that for me, like what I'm watching, is the inability to truly expand above this though. Like we're not really, we closed above it on a 5-minute chart. We have 2 candles above it, but we haven't shown displacement. Like there's no fair value gap. You have a mini fair value gap on this. So this is what I'm watching right here. But I don't think that this is going to show any displacement higher. I just think that that's a, make it black. Oh, that's, can't see that. Maybe this color without the midline. That's a 5-minute gap. You have this 1-minute gap here too as well. They both overlap, which would be a nice sign if I was looking for buying. This is something that I'd be confident in with this wick, knowing that they both overlap. I'm just not looking for buys. So for me, that's why I'm not taking this. I want to see us trade softer. But again, 4 buys, like if I was actually looking to buy today and I couldn't find anything else down here, right here would be the buy because of what I'm seeing and how it overlaps. That's what I would say, but I think that this is not going to hold. I don't see it holding. So for me, if I don't see it holding, so you have this gap here. I want to see what we do here on a 1-minute chart. Does this gap offer us resistance? Lower, right here. That's what I want to see. Does that gap offer resistance? Or do we just trade right through it? Because the bodies are respecting this. Here's the inverse fair value gap there. Is that able to, are we able to do something with that? Because I think that just pushed us up to a premium. That's what my thought, that's what my mind's telling me. Though we just pushed us up to a premium, and then we're gonna dump and take this out, or at least attempt to trade lower. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm expecting. Now we do have this gap here, which would be an IFVG. See, the market buy, market sell would be really getting on my nerves. It's IFVG. Take these dotted lines off. There. So we had a nice reaction there. We have a minute left to go. I feel like this is too dark. So we have IFVG there. I'm not going to take the IFVG play. I wanted to actually create a fair value gap and trade up into it. That's what I'm looking for. And if we can do that, then I'm willing to take another short. And then if that doesn't work, then, you know, that's it for me. So we do have a small one here. I don't necessarily trust this yet. There's a small fair value gap there that I could trade up to. If it doesn't trade up to it and displaces lower, even better. Even better. So right there, volume imbalance, fair value gap right there. If I trusted it fully, that's an entry. And then we look for displacement like we, looks like we're getting that. But I don't see a normal fair value gap get created and trade up into that. Remember, this is 50% of the 15. So this gray box, remember, is the fair value gap on a 15-minute chart. And we'll look to see if we can get some displacement even down below this low specifically. Like I like that. So we trade back up into that again. Are we showing resistance or does it trade right through that? That's what I'm looking at. How are we respecting and how do we respond to this area and price? Because right now I'm looking for specific criteria to occur. If we can trade up into that, create displacement below that low, and then create a gap, that's better. I like that. Again, I'm not looking for anything to the upside. So we hit the opening price of or maybe we failed to hit the opening price of the order block on the 5-minute chart, like the highest up close candle. The reason why I'm a little bit weary of buying this, one, I don't want to because of how large the opening gap is, but then two, how we showed no displacement above that high, like this high specifically, we showed no displacement or willingness. That's not showing displacement or willingness to go above the high. So that's why I'm not necessarily looking for any of that. I want to see us displace and go lower. That's personally what I'm looking for. I'm watching and noticing how the bodies are being held inside of that. I like that. That's a signature I want to see in price. And then if we can create a gap below this low and trade up into that, I would love that even better. Because then we got a signature where the bodies are held. Failure to get up to there. We can create a gap here. Show displacement, not just keep going below the low and coming back up, going below the low, coming back up. Not that. That's not a signature that I want to see. I want to see true displacement. Then we can start looking for these down here, if it can make an attempt to reach down there. But until it shows that fair value gap displacement signature that I'm specifically looking for, there's nothing I can do. I have to walk away, and it'll have to do it without me. I'm not in a rush to get my money back. Displacement, displacement, displacement. That's what we're waiting for. Again, look at the bodies. Look at the bodies of the candles. That's what I'm looking at. The wicks don't matter to me right now. That's what does the damage. It's the bodies that I care about. This can go. The bodies, the bodies, the bodies. It's the body of the body of the body. You guys won't get that, and there's no way to explain that to you. No way to explain that to you. Just part of the process. Okay, now we're out. I want to start to see some displacement to occur now. We've left that gap. So if we can get that, again, I'll take 2 because I took 4 the first time. So I'll take 2 on this time, and I'll look for, see if we can reach down to here, and I'll look to take off some partials if that signature can occur. We can finally create a fair value gap. There's also a breaker here as well with this. So again, if things overline and overlap, we start to see it not go down and come back up, not go down, come back up. Then we've gotten the signatures, we've gotten the indication that price wants to act or do or participate or present itself in a certain way that I'm willing to engage then. So I want to see a gap get created there. Didn't do it. Coming back up to the IFVG. Again, displacement lower is the key indicator for us right now, for me. So yeah, pretty much my cutoff for right now is there. And I'm not trying to force a trade to get into this right now. I'm not trying to make something that's not there. If it's not there, it's not there. I'm not trying to force myself to get into a trade before that time. That's just my cutoff time. And I'm not going to come back in the PM session. I'll just trade tomorrow morning and see what we get there. And if this happens during the PM session where it creates everything and say it trades lower or it trades higher, it doesn't matter. I won't be a part of either or. Either or. We're just waiting for one signature. The famous FVG. Just want to look at, we haven't looked at ES in a while. So ES was unable to close above or close below its fair value gap. Back in the gap again. For I don't know how many times. What, 1, 2, this will be like the 3rd time. Want to see displacement. So that reaction is nice. How much time do we have left? 30 seconds. That's a nice reaction from that IFVG. Now I'll start to see some displacement lower. Bodies couldn't close inside on that last one. See if we can create a swing high here and displace lower. Yeah, visually looking on this day, even look on a 5-minute chart. Oof. 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 It's a lot. A lot of back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So let's get some displacement. The macros come in about 2 minutes, so that's why I was opting to wait for that. And we can see if we can trade softer. think I need to buy an aux cord so I can listen to music in the background, and maybe you guys can't hear it, but at least I can do some of that. Maybe you'll hear my like American Idol style singing. You might like it. Potentially. Nah, I'm not a singer. I'm not a singer. I do not sing. I do not sing at all. You might have heard that, by the way. I just unplugging my phone from the computer door. Come on, we want to see some displacement. Either way, though. I mean, either way at this point, right? It's like some displacement to the upside would be cool. Some displacement to the downside would be cool. I'm looking for downside displacement, personally. So the macro has officially started. So let's see if we can finally get some final or follow through. Look how the body's right there and it stayed in the lower portion. I like that. But we need to start seeing some follow through here. If we're not getting any follow through, then there's really nothing there for. There's nothing there for us. Yep, so again, bodies. Bodies. That's what tells the story. The wicks do the damage. I want to see this roll over. About 20 minutes, 19 minutes left. So for me, after I take a loss, I have to be stricter or more harder or harsher on what I want to see the market do. Right? This was essentially the same trade down here. It closed below it and then put my stop loss above there. But since I've already taken a loss, it needs to be a little bit more harsher for me to, or harder for me to get in. It needs to act specific ways in order for me to engage. Right? It stops me from over trading. It stops me from trying to do too much. And those are some of the rules that you have to try to implement in your trading. Like especially after taking a loss. Having harder criteria to get back in. Or like a time element that has to take place. I mean, watching this right now, it doesn't look like it's ready to go lower yet. Because I would have expected it from the bodies here, traded back up into this, and we still have shown no displacement. I'm hoping we can get it here. Like some displacement here. Lower after, and we take out any of these lows, doesn't matter to me, any of these lows. It shows displacement and gives a fair value gap. That to me is a sell, but it's not doing that right now. Again, the bodies, that's all I care about. So this is indicating to me that at least that it's staying in the lower portion. That it wants to go lower, it's just not yet because I haven't seen the displacement. Because I took this off, but so you guys can see the midline right here is what's important to me. I want to see it hold below this middle portion and price not allow it to trade up higher. So if I can look at this and price is not allowed for it to trade higher and it shows displacement, that's giving me indication that it wants to now try to take out these lows down here and this low down here and this low down here. But those things have to happen first. I'll leave that up there. So this midpoint here, I like that we're unable. I want to see us continue to trade lower and not like soft and shallow. Not looking for that. Maybe about, we'll say 15 minutes left. Let's look at the 15-minute chart. What do we got there? See, this is a 15-minute gap. Look at the bodies. Look how the bodies close right there. So I'm thinking that we should start trading softer really soon. The bodies were, so the 1-minute chart, the bodies are all up here, but on the 15-minute chart, the bodies are showing that it doesn't want to go higher. So I'm looking, you can create a fair value gap below this low or this low. That's what I'm looking for right now. And not this. This is not displacement, by the way. That's not displacement. How we keep coming up and down and up and down. That ain't it. Displacement. Let's look at something else. Looks like this. You see this? You see that? That's displacement. We're not getting any of that, and we have not gotten any of that today. There's no displacement anywhere in price right now, actually. Zero displacement. So 15-minute chart wise, oops. Again, bodies respected this high. I like that. There's no, like, the fair value gap here is on the 5-minute chart right there. We're already below it now. We should be showing some type of weakness already. We could be creating a swing high right now on the 5-minute chart. Now, if it takes out that high, then obviously we don't. But yeah, so if it takes out this high, it's not a swing high. But yeah, that's what we're looking. Just waiting and chilling. But yeah, we have until 11:10. After that, I'm going to hop off. Okay, so we're taking that high, so there's no swing high on the 5-minute chart, and we close above this. Again, to me, not really displacement. And the reason why, like, these macro times are like when price tends to be fair, it's kind of makes sense why it was an update on a 1 day. But yeah, so I was looking for it to trade up to then trade lower. That was my thought process. Right, yeah, it is very, very messy right now. Like, let me not pretend like it's not. That's what it is. And it's just like slow grind higher. Like, even if this was a buy, right, Tony? Like, there's really no clean levels. Things are just getting overrun. There's no real displacement where, like, you can see price moving away. Yeah, high resistance like crazy today. Yeah, very, very high resistance today. Oops, which means you have to be a little bit or a lot more patient than normal. So that's why for me, after taking this, I'm not in a rush to get in right now. You said I can't stand it. Hopefully your session is better. It usually, like, later on in the day, especially if you have high resistance mornings like this, typically the later sessions tend to be a little bit better. But I'm not sitting here trying to trade and make $300 back. Like, it's really not that deep. So just how's time a week factoring into your analysis? Okay, so since we have FOMC, we have NFP on Friday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is pretty much the days that I'm more focused on, and then after NFP. So I don't typically trade before NFP. So I'm looking for a price to show a little bit more movement in earlier on in the week. That's how ICT teaches us, and that's what I've also kind of seen as well. It can kind of turn into stuff like this, like visually. Like I'll try to explain it to you. This is what Thursday looks like to me visually. So I try to avoid that day. So I'm expecting it to be a little bit more cleaner and have clean levels. But if you're looking at this right now, the levels are not really clean right now. Buy or sell, right? Very high resistance condition. The first presented fair value gap didn't even occur until 9:52. So the day of week is important. Normally, I wouldn't. Normally, this is kind of what I would expect on a Monday. But because we have NFP, I'm engaging on a Monday. Normally, if I do trade Mondays, very low risk, very low anything, because this is what I'm kind of expecting. Not saying that it can't move, but that's my expectation, right? And so that's how I factor in day of week. But also you got to remember it's beginning of the month. Everyone's, there's a lot of things that are factoring into this. It's not just because there's also NFP that it's acting like this. It's the new year. There's a lot of things factoring into this, the why it's appearing this way, right? I didn't expect this, but I can understand why it's potentially doing these things, right? Oh, I locked it. My fault. So it's 11 o'clock, so maybe we'll finally start to get something, but we'll see. If we don't, we don't. But yeah, that was a great question. Very, very good question. So maybe we can finally get some displacement here. See if we can trade down. I'm not looking for buys. The gap was too big. I was already looking for sells just in general on a higher time frame. Yeah, I appreciate it, bro. Yeah, just kind of waiting. Yeah, just there's just a lot of things factoring in today, right? People, trying to get back into it. This is a whole bunch of stuff that why it's doing this. Now, obviously, I don't know the exact reason, but those would be how I'm thinking about it in terms of looking at what's happening right now and why it's doing this, because it's not really buying and it's not really selling. So we can tell it's high resistance. This isn't technically seek and destroy either. It's just high resistance. Seek and destroy would mean it's going up and down and up and down. It's not doing that. It went down and went up and then kind of slow grinded up and then kind of just chilling here. So this is, like Tony kind of said, this is a very high resistant day. And especially after these days, like I'm just not trying to force anything or try to get anything back. There's other days that look way better, that are cleaner, that run right to your TP, and those are the days that I'm more focused on, right? These days don't really, they're a part of trading. It just is what it is. But I'm not trying to force my hand or force anything in this type of market. Like I'm not even trying to test. Like, let me just test the sell. I don't even want to do that. Just waiting. Because pretty much after I got 8 minutes or so, it needs to create something between that. Like I'm not really trying to sit here all day and look at this. Like there's better things to do, but more opportunity. But yeah, we're still, as of right now, being held inside of that. I mean, looking at ES, again, kind of same thing. So this was kind of showing a little bit, I'm going to say more strength, but, is able to, it doesn't look good either. Like none of them look very good. This is my opinion. Like none of them look very good since the open. Like if we go, we can't do it on this one. Oh, we can. Since the open, look at this. Like it's not ideal, right? And so what I was looking for was, here's the open right there. So I wanted to see, like, you see how it kind of matches up with that? That's what I was looking for in terms of my short. We just didn't get that. So, that's just how today played out. Oops. Extended hours. But yeah, I'm thinking if we end up trading softer at all today, my thought process is probably PM session, we might try to see if we can take out a little bit lower. If not, then that's also fine. But on the daily chart, let me hide all this stuff. On the daily chart, what I was honestly looking at, obviously we had SMT here. I had a feeling that we could probably have this because I thought that seeing this in this wick, a lot of people would think shorting. But since that we had a large opening range gap, I was not on the buying side, but I felt like this was a wick that they left so that most people would try to immediately go in and short if they have at least some type of understanding and not just looking for buys because of what they saw, the reaction, right? So I was looking for the wicks. I was grading the wicks and say, okay, well, where could we see a reaction? Obviously, we have this volume imbalance here and stuff like that. So maybe we actually do end up coming a little bit higher. What I found very interesting, though, was on the continual, on that one, on this high here, we take it out. Why does this look different right now? Hold up. Before I say that, let me go look at my chart real quick. Because this is freaking me out right now. MNQ1. Yeah, okay. So they look different. Obviously, and ICT talks about how there are differences to it. But what's very interesting is on this contract, because let me make sure on this contract, on the continual one, we take this out. I wish I could share. I can show you actually, because I don't think we're going to get the trade that I'm looking for today. So it's all good. So we take this out actually on the continual one, right? These highs, we take it out, but on the other one, we do not take it out. So SMT was seen here with ES. With this volume imbalance, I was looking at the lower percent of the wick to see if we would hold it. As of right now, we haven't, and we've closed above this volume imbalance. I don't know if there's a volume imbalance there. There's no volume imbalance. So that's essentially like what I was looking for and kind of how I was looking to play today. Now, I'm not saying that we were going to just fall out of bed. Obviously, with seasonal tendencies as well. I didn't mean to do that. Seasonal tendencies as well. January tends to be bearish, right? So that's why I was also looking for those things that I don't like that. Those things that make a little bit more sense to me. So I had a lot of things overlapping to look for price action the way that it did, or where I was looking at down here after trading into a 5-minute gap, sweeping out, in my opinion, key levels of liquidity like a low or a high from a PM session. We took that out. But again, no displacement until here. We trade up into a 5-minute gap, inverse it. We trade into a 5-minute fair value gap, respect it, inverse fair value gap, first present the fair value gap, take it short, looking for down there, but we just didn't get that, just traded higher. So it's all good. But yeah, so that's probably what's going to happen today. Probably no trade, just that one. Nothing else. Unless we can get something very interesting and like some nice displacement. But I just have a feeling either it's going to be later in the day, or it's going to be the PM session, or it may not happen at all. This may not happen at all and just literally just scream up higher. And that's also fine. But yeah, Monday, potential looking at the daily. I want to see a trade higher and create the high of the week. That's kind of what I was expecting just off of what we saw the other day or on Friday. But I just had this little feeling that the way that this wick looked, it would do essentially what it's doing now. But there was no buy for me anyways, so didn't want it. I'm sorry, they really be trying to mess you up here on Top Step. I'm telling you. Why they put market buy where reset chart is? Like, people don't understand that. It'd be making me so angry. Like, look, if you're on here, reset chart view is here. Selling is down there. Then as soon as you go to this one, They put market buy up there. I'm like, what are they doing? But can't control that. Just have to, that just makes me slow down, because there's been times where I've accidentally market bought on accident. Not a great idea. I don't suggest that. But yeah, so let's say we're just going to be trading higher. That's fine. What I am interested to see is how do we react here. Does ES have an ability to trade up above its high? That's what I'm watching. Oops, I messed up. I need to put this back over here so I can watch it. That's what I want to see, but why does it look like that? There we go. But yeah, probably, yeah, so it's 1021. So for me right now, this is the feature I like about this specific platform is, you know, up here you see this little stop sign with the little exclamation point. It's the lockout feature. So for me, because my time element in time zone was at 11:10, that's when I said I was done. That's when I said I'm not doing anymore. So that's when I hit this now, and I also do this for myself, and all day lock me out. So now there's no way that I can take any more trades for the whole day. I have to come back tomorrow, which is what I want to do anyways. But this is just the extra feature that's on there. That's also why I like it, because there have been many times in the past I told myself I'm not gonna trade anymore, and then, you know, if you're a trader, you know how those days go. Those are the days where you blow everything. The account's gone, and you're just like, well, I'll just buy another one. That's not my mindset. I don't want to pay them anymore. They need to start paying me. So that's kind of how I'm visually looking at this and seeing that. So yeah, that's pretty much all for today. You know, I was looking for sells. We just didn't get that. It's okay. It just ended up going higher. Didn't want to see any of that. Wasn't looking for any of that. Didn't want any of that. Just what happened. Looked at gold. Gold played really nice off this breaker. Teacher, you brought that up. That's nice. But yeah, that's pretty much all we have for today. Really nothing else here. But I appreciate every single one of you guys for stopping by, for talking, questions. Appreciate all that. Yeah, I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys on the next stream. Peace out.